Ice Spice and Fort? What? That's
Fortnite Remix. My goodness, this might be one of the most divisive seasons of all time, and I don't believe that's an exaggeration. But today we're going to be talking about everything new, what's to come, and how I feel about these new changes. But before we do that, that's better. Now, let's get into it. Everyone's already bashed on this live event enough, so I'm not going to spend unnecessary time trying to harp on the same things everyone has been saying for the past week, but in short, this live event is one of the worst ever. I hate it. If Fracture was a fetch quest, then this was just a live stream. A cool live stream at that, but I just personally wasn't a fan. I don't think it's worse than Fracture though. Like, you have to admit that pulling off a mini concert like this is pretty cool. Plus having Snoop Dogg there was pretty cool. Oh, and I also guess Ice Spice is there too, but honestly, I mean, who really cares? Epic was really hyping this season up to be something phenomenal, and to be completely honest, I don't think they disappointed. In fact, I would go as far to say that I'm having more fun this season than I did in Chapter 1 OG. My reasoning? I think it's purely because, to me, Chapter 2 was Fortnite's peak, and that's coming from a day 1 player of the game. Chapter 1 was fun, yeah, but I think the reason why Chapter 1 OG didn't hit as hard isn't because of the gameplay, but everyone misses the childlike wonder that Chapter 1 had, and how they perceived it when they were younger, and how there was no game like it at the time. And it all felt so new and fresh. As hard as Epic tries, they can't replicate that. It's just unobtainable. But moving on to the actual season's contents, it's essentially Chapter 2 with a new coat of paint. How so? Well, instead of this being normal Chapter 2, it's Chapter 2 Remix. And this differs from the first 3 seasons in the manner that Chapter 2 Remix features artists like Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Juice WRLD, and I also guess Ice Spice is there too, but also because these 3 seasons are combined into a month-long period of time. We have POIs from seasons 1, 2, and 3 on the island, but we also have multiple weapons from each season's loot pool. And everything's pretty much the same, except for a few POIs and a few items. Like how the agency was turned into the Dog Pound, which is Snoop Dogg's POI. Now, it's not a brand new POI, it has the same layout as the agency, same placement, the only difference is that there's a new aesthetic. And that instead of Midas as a boss, we have Snoop Dogg, who, once you eliminate him, drops his drum gun, which is essentially the same as Midas's drum gun. And once you eliminate Snoop Dogg, he will actually be revived and will automatically become a hired NPC to assist you in combat. And we're also getting a POI change to the grotto, which, to be honest, I think looks really cool. And it appears like the grotto will turn into an Eminem-themed restaurant called Mom's Spaghetti. And there also appears to be an Eminem machine gun mythic, where, when you shoot it, it says the lyrics to Rap God. Now, can we just acknowledge how cool of a concept this is? Like, I can't think of any other game that would honestly ever do something like this. And I'm pretty excited. But I would be a tiny bit more excited if this wasn't the 4th time we've had Eminem in the game. But it's whatever. And it also appears like Ice Spice will eventually take over the Shark POI. Now, this one I'm kind of split on. I'm not a fan of Ice Spice whatsoever. Let me get that out of the way first. But it doesn't help that for the Shark redesign, they just threw a balloon of her on top of it. But still, I'll have an open mind. And who knows, maybe I'm just biased against her. And apparently the Juice WRLD skin will be free for anyone who logs into Fortnite between November 30th and December 1st. So don't miss out. Boogie Bombs also got reworked to do the old Snoop Dogg dance. And overall, there aren't a ton of changes to the game from Chapter 2. It's pretty much the same thing. And I think so far that all the changes made have been pretty good ones, and have helped differentiate it from the original Chapter 2. My goodness, the update to Reload is so peak. The new map is so good, the loot pool is pretty well rounded, and the solos mode is one of my favorite game modes of all time. This new Reload update is so amazing, and it's opened new avenues for more fun gameplay. Because to be quite frank, Reload was kinda getting stale for me before this update, but now that it's here, I'm back into it again. The map took that desert theming from Chapter 1 and ran with it, making one of the most fun maps ever. The spacing between POIs is perfect, endgames are chaotic but fun, and the skill gap in gameplay is so amazing. I truly believe that this Reload update enhanced the mode by a long shot. Now, on to the most important part of the whole video. Did the rappers take away from the season? As of now, I don't believe so, and here's my logic. So, as a Chapter 2 player, if we just return to Chapter 2, I feel like realistically, it would get a little bit stale if it was just the same thing all over again. this theming separates itself from Chapter 2 in a good and meaningful way. It diverts from Chapter 2 season's theming and is birthing something new into that could have just been Chapter 2 again. I think that Snoop Dogg and Eminem were both really solid picks, however I'm not a fan of having Ice Spice as one of the artists featured in the season. But who knows, maybe when her update comes around, it'll be the best rapper feature of the season. And as for featuring Juice WRLD, I don't really know, man. I'm kind of conflicted on how I feel about this. And for some background info, if you don't know who Juice WRLD was, he was an artist who passed away several years ago, and it's just kind of odd to me that Fortnite would feature him. But apparently he loved Fortnite and his mother approved, so either way, as long as they're honoring Juice and his legacy, I'm pretty cool with it. Now, usually I would give this season a rating out of 10 so far, but I'm going to hold on to that and my opinions until the end of the season, just because a lot can change in this month, and I want to see where it goes. And I recommend that you all play this season of Fortnite if you've never ever experienced Chapter 2 before. It is unlike anything else. Now, on to today's shoutout, who is none other than my boy Fish Talks. Fish makes amazing Fortnite video style essays, where he revisits some seasons, gives some info for seasons, and his opinions on how to improve on certain aspects of the game. He makes some amazing content, so please go over and make sure to drop him a sub. And thank you to all our beautiful channel members. And if you'd like to be featured at the end of my videos, then make sure to become a channel member. Links for Fish and the channel memberships will be down in the description below. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and as always, have a lovely night.